All right, good afternoon, everybody. I think what we'll do is get started with introductions because we do have some new people at the table today, so we'll start with that. As I think you know, I'm Tim Kubrick, Chief of Human Resources, and we'll just work this way around the table if we can.
Nancy Bolton, Director, Risk and Benefits Management.
Heather Frederick, Chief Financial Officer.
Officer Lepore, PBA.
Katie Mendoza, PBA.
Gordon Longhofer, President, Classroom Teachers Association.
Justin Katz, Executive Director, Classroom Teachers Association.
Joseph Brenner, SEIU.
Jesse Brown, ASAP President.
Eric Stern, President of Staff Association.
Jim Pegg, Consultant for the Staff Association.
I don't think it was on.
All
There you
right.
go.
V. Danielle Williams, Senior Attorney, Office of General Counsel.
All right. Thank you all for being here. At our last session, we discussed the recommendations, and we understood you did not want it tied to any other negotiations for our regular collective bargaining agreements, so we did agree to disconnect those. Today, we hope that we can review what we discussed and make a decision on the options that we've provided and hopefully reach an agreement. Last session, we did agree to reduce the requirement for targeted outcomes from 4 to 3. So if you hit 3, you hit your targeted outcomes and qualify for healthy rewards. We will still honor that today. And just as a reminder on that, if passing 3 going forward, that means basically you're eligible for healthy rewards. You don't have to do anything. But if you don't meet the 3 or more, there is the option for the provider alternative action form. So you go to your doctor with that form, have the doctor sign off, and then you would qualify. So we do think that this change to adjust the targeted outcomes, reducing it, but also having that option to, for the alternative really does lessen the impact to any increase in premiums just by simply participating in healthy rewards. So we hope that that does help mitigate the impact. But with that, we'd like to get started and discuss the options we've presented and see if we have any questions and see where we're going from here.
Okay, so this presentation is really the same presentation I think you've seen several times. Starting with just a recap of where we're at. We've had no premium increases for a decade. I think we can all agree that is has been a significant impact to the employees and not one that has been realized by, I don't think, any other governmental agency in the area, not even governmental agency, any private corporation either. So after COVID, we did see a spike in claims. We have been utilizing our ESSER funds in order to offset that increase. We were hopeful that we would see claims start to go back to pre-COVID levels. That has not occurred. Our actuary did push for an increase last year. We all, brought that to the table last year, said that no, we would wait and see what happens. We would wait and see, what would happen with claims. But unfortunately, claims actually continue to increase and are not returning to those pre-COVID levels. So we've also, the summary of just which of the plan design changes, as well as the last employee premium increase was in plan year 13. Plan design changes in 2019. In the low option plan, the last employee premium increase was in 2012, and there's been no plan design increases. But during that same time, the district has increased our premiums in plan year 12, 13, as well as plan year 19. Our actuary is recommending a much more significant increase than what the district is, recommending a $50 million increase. We are recommending a $30 million increase, and that's more than substantiated by the actual increases in claims that we're seeing. So we updated this chart. I know it's a lot of information, but it's important to have this on here. We've been sending out the monthly claim details monthly so that all of you, we could all be on the same page and you could see the monthly trends. We just received August, and you can see August is actually the highest month that it's ever been in looking at the past 4 years. So it's at $22.6 million in total claims, including medical and prescription. And so it's actually more, closer to an 8% increase. If you recall, I was recommending and projecting a 2.2% increase in health claims, but it actually is looking like it is actually closer to an 8% increase in health claims. So our recommendation is to increase premiums by $30 million, splitting that between the district as well as employees. The district would fully fund $15 million in plan year 2024, with employees phasing in their increase over 2 years. So their increase would be effective, half of the increase would be effective January 1st of 2024, and then the rest of the additional increase in January of 2025. I have not updated the forecast for plan year 23, 24, and 25 based on the increased trends in health claims. So I'm just still projecting at 2.2%. That is low considering where our actual health claims are actually trending. So even taking into consideration using that lower 2.2%, which really isn't accurate at this point or realistic at this point, having an increase of $30 million in premiums over the next 3 years would still result in a shortfall within the plan. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Nancy Bolton, and she's going to walk through the two options, the option 1 and 2. We've gone over both of these options before. We all seem like we're in agreement that you can't dispute that there is an increase in claims, can't dispute that we do need to have an increase in premiums. We did make some movement on the health rewards and participation in that in order to make it easier for employees to participate, to hopefully increase participation to reduce the financial impact. And where we now just need to finalize is which option is wanted, whether it's option 1, which is just an even increase across all the different tiers, or whether to do a proportional increase based on where we're seeing the actual increase in claims.
And I know that we've talked about this before and many times, but it is complicated. So just to touch on it again, option 1 is very simple. It's just based on the $15 million, the employees' half of the 30 that Heather indicated, just kind of whacked up per head, showing a monthly rate or a per paycheck rate of $64 or $32. Option 2 takes into consideration the actual cost value of those tiers and the fact that the more people you insure, technically, the more you cost the plan. So there was a formula first put into effect with our current premiums. And basically, if you are an individual employee, the formula was you represent a factor of 1. If you're an employee covering a child or just children, you represent a factor of 1.64 because children are less expensive typically than adults. If you're covering an adult spouse, employee plus 1 other adult, the factor is 2.14. Spouses, for some reason, tend to just be a little bit more expensive on our plans than we are, and that's a trend across all employers. And then employee plus family is a factor of 2.87. So we took our existing rates and applied those factors and then trued them up to meet the funding need of $15 million. So the per month increases in option 1 and option 2, you can see it's a little less for the individual tiers, a little more for the family tiers, and that's where we really want you all to tell us which direction you would like to see the rates go. It does total to the same end, though. And then Heather had talked about phasing in that increase over a period of 2 years. So what that would look like, just for illustration, because we haven't actually illustrated this for you, but it's kind of whacking it in half, just very simply. So now, for option one, the per paycheck increase would be $16, $32 a month, $16 per paycheck. And then option two, again, would range from 13 to 33 per paycheck for the high option, 13 through 29 for the low option, and 13 through 20, just depending on which tier of coverage you're in. This isn't factoring in participation and health rewards. It's just showing you simply the increase. Year two is for illustration purposes because year one whacks it in half, and so then year two would add those same amounts theoretically onto the premium that resulted after year one. So in other words, you're paying, let me just go back so I can illustrate that because it's a little bit complicated. So option one, high option, employee only, employee premium would be $122. And then option one, second year, would be $154 because that $32, and this is speaking monthly, would just sort of be on top of the 122, but it would be the same dollar increase if claims stay on track. Of course, we don't have a crystal ball and we don't know that, so these are for illustration purposes only. But this kind of helps you to visualize the concept of phasing it in over 2 years. Okay, and then your article. This is just, we would recommend just updating very simply, the effective dates, obviously, to show 2024. And then Article sections 6A, B, and C would be updated to reflect the district's monthly contribution increased for full-time employees. And the part-time employees are also in the articles. So it would be reflecting the district's portion. And then Article Section 8F would be updated to memorialize the medical necessity and cost containment programs collectively bargained and implemented this year, which was the freestanding surgical centers, the cardiology benefit that was, the steerage benefit to less expensive providers, centers of excellence, if you will, and those items that we bargained. We just want to memorialize the contract to capture them. And I don't have the health rewards noted here that Tim touched on, but obviously that would be updated as well if we went in that direction. And so really nothing has changed here. We still need to, and we would like to get to accepting the minor article changes, hearing your selection of option 1 or 2, and moving forward with funding toward what we've illustrated.
So, questions? Do you need time to discuss?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
need caucus time.
Caitlin, do we have room? Okay. So you all will stay, why were they staying here? Would you prefer to stay in here, or
We'll take the side room.
you'll take the side room? Okay. What-
We don't have anybody.
Oh.
Even's not online.
They just have the choice in career conference room, so I think it'd probably be easier if we went there for,
You can kick them out for us. That'd be
yeah, right.
ideal.
It's like a small conference room. I think this is probably better for y'all. All right? If that's all right?
Sure.
Okay. If you want to text me when you're done, when you're ready.